Every few weeks this winter, we've been bringing you stories about oil train derailments and the massive explosions they cause. So when we spotted dozens of black tanker cars in the Albuquerque rail yard downtown, we wondered what's rolling through New Mexico. Matt Grubbs tracks it down in tonight's special assignment.
Oh my God, the house is on fire, the train derailed over the hillside.
February, West Virginia. A train hauling 3 million gallons of volatile light sweet crude derailed. 20 tanker cars exploded, each carrying nearly 30,000 gallons of oil from North Dakota. Just 3 weeks ago in rural Illinois, a 103-car Burlington Northern Santa Fe oil train derailed. 5 tankers burned for 3 days. The cargo was also Bakken crude from North Dakota, a state that has seen its own explosions during its oil boom.
Definitely an increase. There's a lot more trains running now.
Railroad Union Rep Donald Gallegos has seen oil shipments, crude by rail they're called, skyrocket along with New Mexico's booming oil business. The Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF lines he works crisscross New Mexico. Along with Union Pacific lines, they carried 205,000 tons of crude in and out of New Mexico. And that's as the oil boom was ramping up back in 2012. Gallegos understands the interest in crude by rail.
All the fires and the flames and everything, sure.
But New Mexico hasn't seen any explosions. And as those tanker cars were still burning in Illinois earlier this month, we found these tanker cars sitting in the Albuquerque rail yard downtown, right next to the rail runner station. And that code on the hazmat placards, 1267, means they have been or are carrying crude oil. New Mexico's oil is not as explosive as the North Dakota Bakken crude. Since the feds started requiring rail lines to notify states about those volatile Bakken shipments,
what the material is, how long it's going to be here, and when they're going to move it out.
Rail runner operators and New Mexico emergency managers say they haven't heard a peep.
We feel that our passengers are safe at all times with those tankers that are here, and most of the time, if not all the time, they've been empty.
Crude oil travels to, through, and from New Mexico along the rails. A handful of transload facilities for getting oil onto and off of trains dot the state, with more in the works to handle New Mexico production. There's one being built in the South Valley right now. But Donald Gallegos isn't worried about crude oil.
Yes, they're running these things through here, but they're even more dangerous products that people have never noticed.
It's the stuff that would never get noticed unless something went wrong.
Right into Albuquerque, there's anhydrous ammonia, there's chlorine. All these things have always moved through here. It's gone unnoticed, thank God.
In and around Albuquerque, those train loads get directions from the Rail Runners Dispatch Center. On the stretch of track from Belen to Lamy, freight is second class, taking a back seat to the commuter train.
We have to get out of their way. They have priority.
Most passengers, and the rest of us, will never know what's on the tracks until it's long gone. Safely, folks like Donald Gallegos hope, on its way out of town. Matt Grubbs, KRQE News 13.
Now, Matt has more online at KRQE.com about how railroads try to keep information about what's traveling through the state from prying eyes. You can also see the federal government's order to force them to disclose large shipments of Bakken crude.